how much charge we get using a 120 volt outlet in the snow. Because like I said, it's supposed to snow here all day, the entire 6 hours that this will be charging. Well, this is a much different intro than I normally am making on my vlogs. I think my first time recording in snow. No, I did in 2017 with Kaylee. So this is the first time my Model 3 has seen some snow. And as some of you may know, I'm charging on this, which is just a normal dedicated 20 amp breaker. That's just a standard American outlet that runs along this cable over to my charger. So I figured, let's see how much charge we'd get in a day. So click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch. And we're gonna see with a 120 volt outlet, and it's snowing. It's supposed to snow like all day. It's gonna be below freezing. I wanna see how much battery I add to my Model 3 using that outlet. Let's do it. Ooh, all right, so we are at a nice 67%, and I think I'll just unlock it. And it's 9:23, so let's plug in. We're gonna say it's 9:24 at our plug-in time, so I'm gonna check this at exactly, is it charging? We are charging. I'm gonna check this at exactly, so it's at 67% right now. It is 9:24 and we're going to 100%. So let's see how much charge we get using a 120 volt outlet in the snow. Because like I said, it's supposed to snow here all day, the entire 6 hours that this will be charging. So we'll let it charge for 6 hours and then see what the results are after 6 hours. See you in a bit. So I figured I'd come in here and take a look. So it's 12:17. We're about 5 minutes shy of it being the halfway point, 3 hours, and we're at 74% with the weather still sleeting and snowing, and it feels like 23 and it's currently 28. That's how it's been all morning. As you can see, it'll not get above freezing. So this will be a good little test to see what 6 and heck, maybe even 12 hours if my car sits there long enough, how my Tesla Model 3 does charging in the snow on a 120 volt outlet. So just a small update here. It's 5:45 p.m. or 5:46 now. So we are 8 hours into this test. There's 4 hours remaining, and we have added 20% to the battery in 8 hours. That's very surprising this cold, considering when I did this test before, it was much warmer. It was like 60 something degrees, and the car did 27% in 12 hours. So for us to be at 8 and we're already at 20 and it's fighting all this cold, I'm thinking that's very good. I'm very surprised to see that. Guess I should make it quick. She's waking up. So this was my little test. I ran this test on January the 10th. Walk away from her show. So I ran this test on January 10th of 2025. So this was a couple weeks ago. To be honest, I had forgot I had these clips. I technically never checked back on the video at 9:23 p.m. like I was supposed to do after 12 hours. That's a complete failure on my behalf. Reason being, the Valley actually kind of turned this into a snow day. We had poker, bingo, all kinds of stuff that I actually got sidelined doing that I didn't think I'd be doing. But during that time, my car did sit here the whole entire time. I did not move it, did not drive it, and I plugged it in at 9:23 a.m. I sadly can't give you an exact number of 9:23 p.m. 12 hours later, or even 9:23 a.m. the next morning, but I can say I did notice at 12:30ish it was showing 20 hours. That would have been about 9 a.m. And at 5:40 there, when I was just under 4 hours away, we were already up to 20%. Now, I did the same test before on a normal day, as I mentioned in the video, and in an exactly timed 12-hour period on that 120 volt dedicated outlet, my car added 27%. So considering I was at 20% at 5:43 with about 3.5 hours remaining, I might have hit pretty close to that same 27%. I feel like it would have maybe been 25, possibly 26, but I really thought that the cold mixed with a 120 volt outlet was just really gonna drain it. I was picturing adding maybe 15% completely over a 12-hour period, 30% tops over a 24-hour period. So to have added 20% and just 8 hours is phenomenal. And charging on a regular 120 volt outlet is possible even in the snow. I would absolutely not recommend it, but if you're wondering, you definitely could do it. And in just over 8 hours, I'd added 20%. So now you can't really take that and just times it by 3 and say, well, in 24 hours, you'd add 60%, because that's just not the case. But, 24 hours, you could definitely add, I would say, 40 to 45, somewhere in there, give or take. That's at least my estimate. So I'll have the new Model Y Juniper or refresh, whatever you want to call it, in a few weeks. And I'm going to do this same test. I'm going to get it to about a 50% battery and put it on that 120 volt charger for 12 hours just to see what I get. So that'll be coming soon whenever Tesla calls me to take my money to get the car. So click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.